Hey everyone! Today we're going to tackle a super important concept in Python, how you name your variables. But instead of just giving you a list of boring rules, we're going to solve a real problem to show you why getting this right is a total game changer for writing clean code. All right, let's jump straight into a puzzle. Have you ever tried to write something like this and just gotten an error? One teacher equals Mr. Ahmed. I mean, it looks like it should work, right? But Python says, nope. So what's the deal? Stick with me, and by the end of this, you'll know exactly why this fails and how to fix it every time. Okay, before we dig into Python's specific rules, let's talk about the bigger picture here, making your code readable. Because let's be honest, confusing code is a nightmare to fix, a pain to update, and almost impossible for anyone else to understand. Think of good variable names as your first and best defense against writing messy code. Just imagine trying to build a school timetable system. If you name your variables X, Y, and data, it's complete chaos. Who is X? What subject is Y? What in the world is data? This is exactly the kind of mess we're going to clean up. The good news is Python gives us a really simple way to fix this. There are basically just 5 key rules for creating variable names that are not only valid, but also super clear. Let's break them down. So here they are, the big 5. First, you can only use letters, numbers, and the underscore character. That's it. Second, and this is the answer to our first puzzle, your variable name can't start with a number. Third, no spaces or special characters like exclamation marks or hashtags. Fourth, names are case sensitive, so teacher with a lowercase t is a totally different variable from teacher with a capital T. And finally, you can't use Python's own special words. It's keywords like if, for, or class. Okay, so that's the theory. But let's be real, seeing these rules in action is what really makes it all click. Let's look at some good names versus bad names side by side. Check this out. On the left, you've got the good stuff. Student name and math teacher are perfect. They tell you exactly what they are and use an underscore to be easy to read. Room 101 is also fine because a number is at the end, not the beginning. Now look at the right. One teacher is invalid. Why? Because it starts with a number. Class is a no-go because it's a Python keyword, and room number fails because of that space. See the pattern? So, following the rules makes your code work. But to write truly great code, the kind other developers will thank you for, you should follow a few best practices. Be descriptive. English teacher is a million times better than just ET. Use underscores to make longer names readable. And try to be consistent. Using all lowercase with underscores is a really common and clean style. All right, you've got the rules, you've got the best practices. Now it's time to put it all together. We're going to go back to that school timetable idea, but this time we're going to build it the right way. So here's the mission. We're going to create a set of variables to store all the key timetable info for one student, whose name is Omar. And here's the data we have to work with. We've got 3 subjects, 3 teachers, and 3 different rooms. Our job is to take each piece of this information and store it in a variable with a crystal clear name. Let's do this. We're going to build out the solution together, and I want you to really pay attention to the choices we make for our variable names. First up, the student's name. We'll call it student name. Simple, descriptive, perfect. Now, for the first class, we'll use English teacher and English room. See how that English prefix logically groups these 2 variables together? It keeps everything nice and organized. And now we just repeat that same exact pattern for the other subjects. We have science teacher, science room, history teacher, and history room. With names like these, absolutely anyone can read this code and know what's going on instantly. That's the power of naming things well. So now let's actually use our great variable names to print out the timetable. Look how readable these print statements are. There's no guesswork, no trying to remember if X was the teacher or the room. It just makes sense. And here it is, the final result. A perfectly clear, easy-to-read timetable. We just turned what could have been total chaos into something clean and understandable, just by following a few simple naming rules. That's a huge win. So there you have it. You've seen how to solve a really common coding headache with clean, effective variable names. But you know, watching is just the first step. The only way this stuff really sinks in is if you practice it yourself. If you're ready to get your hands dirty, we highly recommend checking out the interactive lesson on this in the DevsCall Python series. It's designed to help you really master what you've just learned here. You can find the full tutorial right at the URL on your screen. Go ahead, dive in, and start building. Remember, the path to becoming a great developer is simple. Practice, build, and learn. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next explainer.